am the Bat, and I am here in beautiful Paris, France. Yes, and I am here to introduce the show because I thought it was important. I have my friend Ralph here. Ralph is, this is his place. I flew over here because things were kind of weird in the United States, and I thought, well, maybe I'll go to Paris, and you know what? Things are weird here too. It's just a weird time, So, anyway, I thought it was important today because there are two people on the show today that are very good friends of mine. One is Joe DeHoyos, and here's a wonderful Joe. He's got the word "hoy" in the middle of his name, so that makes him very, very special. And, he talks about paranormal things. A lot of them are very scary. So he's going to talk about a little paranormal today. But I want to tell you, don't worry, because it's not scary. It's not scary at all. Because, as you'll see, I have a great friend of mine who is going to do some stand-up at the end of the show. And no, it's not Joel Marshall. No, it's somebody else. It is a very special one. I don't want to give it away, but he is going to do some hilarious stand-up. He was someone who got started, around the same time I did in the entertainment industry, but things didn't go as well for him as it did for me and Joel Marshall and Boney, because I don't know. People that were afraid of him, I think. He got some kind of a weird reputation, even though he's a very nice guy, just a little creepy. So, anyway, I just wanted to set you up with that. Don't be scared. Hang in there. Rule this together. That's the kind of show this is. We are going to breathe as usual. We are going to do all the things. We are going to look at some animals, perhaps. Not bats today, but something else. So, anyway, welcome all of you to another episode of Lunch Therapy. Did I do that right? Did I do the lunch therapy thing right, Ralph? Ralph doesn't speak too much. Anyway, lunch therapy. Here we go. I'm gonna get myself a modem. 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 Hey. Yeah, the Bat was sounding a little like Christopher Walken. That's kind of cool. He's a pretty cool dude, like Christopher Walken. And, that Bat can dance. Get him out on the dance floor. It is crazy. I mean, he hangs from the rafters, but he can dance like nobody's business. Today, we got a huge show today. It's a little dark. It's a little bit scary at times. That's why I have the marvelous Zoom background from Etsy here. It is I don't know why this guy makes great backgrounds. And if you ever want a background for your Zoom or whatever, this guy's Zoom backgrounds, I don't know him. But, and we've got the little baby Yoda here from the Zoom background. So we're going to do some breathing in this weird space. But I just wanted to say welcome to Lunch Therapy. Lunch Therapy is a show where we take a break from the crap. That's right. Take a break from the crap. Today we're going to take a break from the crap and we're going to explore some various things. First of all, we're going to breathe though. But one of the things I wanted to point out is at the end of the show, the whole Bolivian army will be performing their song. That's Math Kite. So hang in there for that. We're going to have some stand-up comedy from a mysterious guest. And we're also going to have Joe DeHoyos telling a really freaky, crazy story. So let's get into it. We're going to breathe in through the nose, out through the toes. First breath. Hold it. Let it go. There's Camilo Lopez. I wanted to mention to you, we are having a live streaming Equal Means Equal holiday special that is coming up this Saturday, I believe. And Camilo can give me the details, hopefully. In through the nose, out through the toes. I will be giving you the details on Friday. Let it go. One more. In through the nose, out through the toes. Hold it. Let it go. I held that one a little longer than usual because I needed to get that oxygen in, and I needed to wait for Saturday, 6 p.m. on Equal Means Equal's Facebook page. Is going to be a live holiday presentation. We're going to have some lunch therapy regulars there, like Mark Strignell is going to be playing a tune, and we're going to just have a good old time, good old holiday time. Joel and Kamala are going to host the Christmas extravaganza, so get ready for that. Now let's get into the show because we have a lot to go over here. Here we go. All right, so I wanted to start out with this long line of Mandalorian mercs. I am a huge fan of The Mandalorian, as maybe you have figured out, but I'm really enjoying it this year. And these are some Mandalorian mercs at an event. And this is Jason Wasulko's YouTube channel, Mandalorian mercs at the Star Wars Celebration Gala in Orlando in 2017. Yeah, I like Mandalorians. Boba Fett was a Mandalorian apparently, and now they got this thing. There's a Snow White Mandalorian. Anyway, check out this guy's YouTube channel. Pretty cool stuff. But now it's all alpacas.
I'm getting the whole
There were
thing.
way too many accidents on the freeway today. Maybe they were watching lunch therapy in their car, which I don't recommend. I never recommend that. Watching lunch therapy in your car. You can listen to it, but you gotta keep your eyes on the road. Let's go on to the next thing, which is it's all alpacas. Somebody in the chat room,
When it starts to rain,
Ganelle,
they all
I
like run to the
mentioned,
barn.
hey, that llama, something about the llama. What did he say? The llama looks like a, and you know what he looks like? He looks like an alpaca, because alpacas and llamas are different. There you go. That's your little bit of animal information today. Alpacas are different from llamas. I think it has something to do with the ears. I don't know. I don't even know. I know nothing about alpacas except that I wanted to kind of go into the possibly horrifying story that we're going to hear from Joe DeHoyos. And because this is a therapeutic show, we are going to actually move through this. So this kind of terrifying story, and then we're going to move through it, and we're going to come out on the other side all happy, listening to the whole Bolivian army. So first of all, adorable alpacas. This is beautiful. This is an alpaca with a dog and a cat. So, I mean, how... It says, a dog and a cat? This farm is nuts. I love seeing adorable animals with other adorable animals. That's something I enjoy. And I like to listen to music while we do it. There's a dog licking the face of an alpaca. Alpacas are huge these days, by the way. Way huge. Not I mean in size, but they're blowing up. They're blowing up big on... So get your alpaca, Ganelle, get your alpaca Twitter channel, because these things are on fire. If alpacas playing guitar look... I see what you're saying. The GIF. The animated GIF. Let's take a look at that and see if that is true. Banjo playing alpaca. Let's see. I think that's your imagination. That's your imagination, Ganelle, running wild. Because I think that just looks like an adorable alpaca playing a banjo. All right, so there's that. Cat and alpaca, dog and alpaca. Let's just move along a little bit. I love how the cat is like, what is this gigantic being? Todd sees it. No, that is just an alpaca. Sometimes an alpaca is just an alpaca, right? Sometimes a dog is just a dog, a cat is just a cat, an alpaca is not a llama. So don't get them confused. Maybe somebody could tell me what a herd of alpacas is called. Is it just herd? Or is it, maybe we could come up with our own, maybe it's a cloister of alpacas. One of the things I'm wondering about is, since we have different words for different groups of animals, can't we just say the word and not say the animal, because everybody should know? You know, the famous one is the murder of crows. Just say, hey, look at that murder over there. Or, hey, look at that meditation over there. And everybody would know it was a bunch of capybaras. And they could look it up if they didn't. So moving on, because we got to get to Joe DeHoya. We've got a few more. Okay, I'm having trouble with the alpaca videos, but you know, I just wanted y'all to feel good about alpacas before we move into this crazy story, because it's a little bit mysterious, it's a little bit scary. Let's go, crazy story time. On our way. Okay, we've got Joe here, Joe DeHoyos. Hoy, Joe DeHoyos. Great to see you. You know, on our show, we don't say hi, we say hoy. So your name fits perfectly with this show.
Perfect.
And I hear you have a crazy story for me about some kind of haunting. I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, it's actually an entity called the Hat Man.
The Hat Man?
I'm sure the Hat Man, yeah. I'm sure if you talk to your paranormal people, they've heard of this entity before. Really? So this friend of mine, I've known him for at least 20 years. And I currently work with him. So when I first met him all those years ago, him and his wife and his little baby was maybe 4 or 5 years old at the time. He had told me that he thought his house was haunted. And he would tell me some weird stuff that going on, all the typical kind of stuff that happens. And then one day he came to work and he was like, hey, something really weird happened last night. We had to take the baby to the hospital. I'm like, what happened? He goes, because we went to her room. She was, you know, she woke up in the middle, like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, screaming, crying. They went to her room. They found her laying on the bed. Now she had a little toddler bed. Those toddler beds are only like a foot off the ground, right? Mm-hmm. She's laying face down, crying. They pick her up. Her front tooth is missing. And it's not just missing, but like the gum, like the root came out like this way. So her gum is like tore up, right? Wow. And he says, I'm looking on the ground, because apparently she just fell right there next to the bed. Because I couldn't find her tooth. It was 10 feet away across the room. So he's like, I don't know what happened. Because he says, I'm afraid something really bad happened to her, you know? Yeah. And so he started telling me more and more about his house. So one day, before we get to that story, yeah, he was laying down in his bed, and he seen this man walk across his doorway down the hall. He had a black hat, a long black coat. You know, he gets up, he grabs his shotgun, because he was the only one there at the house. He grabs his shotgun. He's going through his house. There's nobody there. And I said, did this look like a person? He goes, it looked like a real solid person. It didn't look like a ghost. It wasn't transparent. He goes, this was a man that walked in my house. And his wife even confirmed it. She says, yeah, when I came home that night, he was on the couch laying down with a shotgun. Wow. So about 2 weeks later, he's at his father-in-law's house, and he's telling his father-in-law, his father-in-law lived like 3 streets away from him. He's telling his father-in-law about this incident. His father-in-law says, you know, a couple weeks ago, him and his dog, he was walking his dog, and he would walk down past my buddy's house. Down the street. He would pass the street up, go to the next street, come down that street, then come back around down my friend's street, right? So as he was going to pass up my buddy's street, his dog starts barking towards my friend's house. And he seen this guy standing out in the middle of the street with a black hat and a black coat, right? So they walk down to the next street, make the U-turn, come back around, and the guy's walking away from him now, you know? So his father-in-law's following the guy. He says, I'm going to go follow him, see what he's doing. The guy makes a right at the end of the street when the father-in-law and his dog get there, the guy's gone. He's like, I don't know where the guy went. The guy just disappeared. So they're kind of comparing notes, and they kind of figure they've seen the same thing. So years and years go by, and Richard finally figures out that there is an entity called the Hat Man. So I'm asking Richard about this. I'm like, so what happened? You know, what went on in that house? He says, well, we were going to his father-in-law's house, and they were going to his father-in-law's house, and they saw people outside working on this house, and they had a for rent sign. So him and his wife stopped by there, and they're like, hey, what's going on? You know, when is this house going to be ready? And they met the young lady there that was in charge of everything. Turned out it was her father's house who had passed away. And so she was going to put it up for rent. So Richard goes, well, do you mind if we go in there and check the house out? She's like, no, come on. So they're looking around. They're remodeling the kitchen. He said he kind of felt it was kind of weird that they were only doing the kitchen and not the rest of the house. Because he said the rest of the house could have used some work, but, you know, it wasn't a bad place, you know. So they come to a deal. She says, we'll have the house ready in 2 weeks. You guys come in, move in. It's your house, you know. Okay, cool. 2 weeks later, my buddy and his wife are moving in. The neighbor comes across the street, goes, hey, you guys got Jack's house. He's like, yeah, you know, I don't know who had the house, but yeah, that's who, we got the house now. He goes, yeah, there was Jack's house. And he was an older gentleman. He was dying. He had cancer. He was, terminally ill. He wasn't going to make it. He got to the point where he didn't want to live anymore. So he shot himself in the house, not just in the house, but in the kitchen.
Oh,
so my buddy starts kind of putting two and two together. That's why they were remodeling the kitchen. He starts opening up all the cabinet doors because they hadn't put anything up yet, and he finds a spot where they spackled over a hole in the sheetrock
where the bullet went, or where the charge went.
So you know, his wife was kind of on edge about this. So at night he started flicking the lights off and on and said, "Jack's going to get you. Jack's going to get you." So he thinks he kind of provoked something. Yeah.
You know, it's interesting because you had mentioned the Hat Man, and I didn't think I'd heard of it before, but there was a woman named Christy who was going to be on my show, and she had to work at the last second. But her story was about someone like that, and then she was counseling somebody at a mental institution, a little kid, and the kid was really normal, but then she would just go into these crazy fits. And then one night she saw the Hat Man. It sounds like the Hat Man. It was a man dressed all in black with a black hat. And he seemed to be going into her room, and then she would have these fits. And she started to describe the same thing. She drew pictures of someone like that. And I was like, is that Slender Man? Is that the same thing? I don't know. And she said that then one night she went home and she had a dream. And in the dream, the girl was being strangled by the Hat Man. And she came into the room and she had a cross and she held the cross up and she said, Jesus, Jesus, the power of Jesus tells you to go away, or something like that. Something about Jesus and the cross. And
power of Christ compels you, right?
Right. The power of Christ, like in The Exorcist or something. And then he went away. And the next day she came to the place and they said that the girl seemed better. She seemed a lot better. And then they looked at the surveillance cameras. This is what she said. And she was in the room last night. Christy was in the room with the little girl. There was no Hat Man that was recorded, but she was recorded being there holding up the cross. So I wonder what the connection is with the Hat Man. You know what I mean? Like, what is that?
Yeah, it's just a crazy entity, I guess. I don't know. Like I said, my buddy, still to this day, he blames himself for that.
Really? Because he was taunting it.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Scary. Yeah, that's a great story.
Well, people got to be careful what they do, I guess.
Yeah. So people can hear more of these kind of stories on your channel, Beyond the Woodline, on YouTube.
Yes, sir.
And you have all kinds of people come on and tell paranormal stories. Ghosts, cryptozoology. Is there another category?
I've got remote viewing on there too.
Remote
Somebody
viewing.
talks about remote viewing. Yeah.
Yeah, there's all kinds of
alien abduction. Stuff. Yeah, pretty good stuff on there, I think.
I love it. All right, so everybody go there, subscribe to Joe's channel, Beyond the Woodline.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks for being here. Scary. All right, that was pretty scary. I apologize for the scary afternoon ghost story, but it's kind of interesting, this Hat Man thing. So I'm looking around, and this is a website for Sinister Coffee. It's just some kind of coffee company, and they're talking about the Hat Man and how there's people all over the world that see this guy. He has a hat. They all describe him the same way. He's in a shadow. He has a long coat. He has, sometimes his eyes glow red. Sometimes he has sunglasses, and he just stands there in the corner and scares the crap out of people. Yeah. So, and there have been a lot of movies that are influenced, but this goes all the way back to like ancient Egypt and Greece, and then people would see this, not necessarily with the same hat, but they'd see like a dark figure standing, in a corner when they wake up, and you can see cave paintings and such. But yeah, so I think it's kind of a deep-seated fear that we have of this man standing and staring at us. Thanks, Wolf Chip. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. We're exploring the Hat Man today. So the weird thing about it, too, is that they talk about this on this coffee website, which is just one place you can find about it, but there's just post after post. I have a dream of me and a tall man in a top hat. We are located in the back room, and he's even told me about his daughter Nancy. Like, they have all these stories, and it just goes on and on and on, people talking about the Hat Man. And I just, I wonder what the pictures of him all over the place, Hat Man. Yeah. And then, of course, there's movies like, there's this thing on this channel, which is called, let's see, what is the channel
all
called?
Around the world, people are experiencing the same terrifying vision in their sleep.
Nightmares.
It was just a black silhouette.
Sleep
Completely black.
paralysis.
I couldn't make out anything.
So
There's
talk about
not
it
a
on
face
her
or
channel,
eyes, but just this dark
which is
kind of
called
outline
Quartz.
of a man.
戴着类似蓑衣那样一层金丝帽，但是看不见脸。
A tall man with some type of a brimmed hat.
There was three of them for me, and the one in the middle was always the guy in the middle.
Person
Had
after
a hat on.
person
It
talking
was
about the Hat Man.
obviously the boss.
У них у лидера мужчина в шляпе цилиндре. Они меня пугали,
So I'm like,
утаскивали
well,
душу на ночь.
one of the things that they said about the Hat Man
When your heart is beating,
is that people see him and they have these night terrors, and there are all kinds of different phenomenon. Like, you ever do this where you wake up and your body is still asleep, so you can't move? So they're saying that this is called sleep paralysis. And apparently this has something to do with it, is that you get into this sleep paralysis where you can't move, but you're trying to get up and you see visions. And a lot of times you'll see this person like standing in the corner being really scary. The comment. So that, I think, is the way that you get around it, is through comedy. They actually say that perhaps if you're having these night terrors and the Hat Man is you're experiencing the Hat Man, Ed Harris' character, he's the man with the black hat, right? If you're having these experiences, you should probably get off the mescaline. Yeah. No, you should probably think of the Hat Man as like a fun dude, fun guy. And, I think it's good advice. So instead of, watching more movies about documentaries about the Hat Man,
looking at me,
and,
like just straight looking at me
with the scary. This is a
I saw
documentary
behind me
you can see
this figure,
Yeah, see, there's people
just like that,
all over,
exactly
all over.
like that.
Yeah, scary stuff. If you want to hear more scary stuff, go to Beyond the Woodline with Joe DeHoyos. Right now, we're going to go into the Trash Panda comedy room, do some comedy at the end of the show, lighten things up a little bit. Here we go. Trash Panda. The technical stuff is great today. So I'm here, Joel Marshall, here to do some comedy. And, I hope it won't scare you too much with the Hat Man. But, sometimes we need a good scare, I guess. Sometimes, but none of that stuff is real. It's not, wait a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, the Hat Man. Oh, I'm the man in the hat. Or Slender Man, or whatever you want to call me. I like to stand in the corner and watch people sleep. I'm an insomniac. What can I say? I'm so nervous. I've never done stand-up before. But I figured, I get such bad PR. Maybe this will help. That's what we do. We have to get out there. So, I'm really glad to be here at the Trash Panda Comedy Club. I've been hanging out backstage with Boney and Joel Marshall. So nice of you to have me here. Fun fact about me, I grew up in the Pacific Northwest. I don't like to drop names or anything, but Bigfoot is my best friend. Yeah. He's got gigantic feet. I never made fun of him for his gigantic feet, and he never made fun of me for my weird, shadowy appearance. Creepy. Yeah. I know I'm creepy. I know I am. But you know what? I'm an insomniac. So I go over to my friend's house, or some of them are not my friends, and I stand in the corner and I wait for them to wake up because I figure, when they wake up, we could, play some games, Parcheesi, something like that. But oftentimes when they wake up screaming. And their hair turns white, and then they have a cardiac arrest, and then I have to find new friends. Yeah. Another fun fact about me, I like to wear my clothes to bed. Yeah, full clothes, just like this. I like to wear this to bed because, why should I have to buy different clothes to go to bed, right? I think it's a racket. Somebody made that rule up just to sell more clothes. So I don't fall for it. And when I wake up, I'm ready to go. Other people have to spend time picking out their clothes, putting on clothes, whatever. I'm ready to go. When I was a kid, got the new clothes, first day of school, I wore them to bed. By the time I hit school, they didn't look like new clothes anymore. Some people think, it's not sexy to wear that to bed, but what's sexy? What's more sexy than this? And if there's a fire, I'm the first one out on the curb. So, so it's really great being here. Thank you very much. I'm really glad being... Wow! Oh, that scared me. Pandas scare me. Trash pandas, raccoons scare the crap out of me. I'm actually kind of timid. That's why I don't say much. The only fight I've ever gotten in was at Madrona Junior High School. Jeff Powers told me that I had a high voice. I said, no, you have a high voice. And he said, you have a high voice, and you have a high voice. And he started punching me, and I started punching back. Next thing you know, we ended up in the principal's office. So I don't get in fights anymore. I just lurk. Just lurk around. Kind of a lurker. Anyway, so good to be here. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. That's my time. All right. Well, that was the Hat Man. He's not so scary after all. It's kind of funny because his, I don't know why he's wearing like a shirt on his head or something like that. It's like maybe he's got bad acne. Certainly Freddy Krueger had some pretty bad acne. Yeah, somebody said that here. And then he's got that high voice. He kind of reminds me a little bit of Michael Jackson. Yeah, I expected him to kind of start moonwalking. Kind of awkward. Yeah. Anyway, he was great. I'm glad we're no longer scared. He's, lurking. Let's just get on with the dance party. But thank you, Hat Man. Thank you for being here. That was pretty funny stuff. That was his first set. So everybody, stand up. So congratulations, Hat Man. Thanks for being on the show. Let's move on to the dance party. So there we go. I think we accomplished it. We're no longer scared of Hat Man. Because he's just a nice guy. He's misunderstood. He's like Bigfoot. Thanks, Camille. Thanks, Kamala. Thanks, Ganelle, Todd, Peanut Butter and Honey. Thanks for everybody being here on the show. Thank you, Jose. Anyway, we're moving on to the pièce de résistance of the show. Since the bat was in Paris, I'm going to attempt to speak some Thank you very much. Anyway, so Matt and Mary Beth Kite two great friends of mine and of the show. Matt, we have an interview with Matt on the show earlier on in this crazy year. We love you, Hat Man. We do love Hat Man. And they're going to be performing an original song now. And their band is called The Whole Bolivian Army. Yes. So without further ado, dance party time. I wish the Hat Man could dance here. That would be cool. Maybe he can.
Woke up this morning, something different in her heart.
Let's see if I can get him.
She couldn't fake it anymore. She came apart. We all need it. We all need it. We all need it. Yeah. She'd over her car into the pool. She left a crack. She called her boss and told him I ain't coming back. We all need it. We all need it. We all need it. Yeah. We go to school, we go as slaves, we go to work, go to our graves. We go to school, we go as slaves, we go to work.
Yeah, that was just me dressed up like Hat Man. I tried to dance. Early show. Yeah. Hat Man's really not scary now. Note to self, don't taunt entities. Anyway, thanks everybody for being on the show. And Hat Man did have a shirt on. How else is he going to keep that shadowy kind of thing where nobody can see his face? He's got to put something on his head. Maybe he can get something better next time. I don't know. Anyway, great to see you all here. Thanks, Matt and Mary Beth, for letting us play the song. And we will see you on Friday.